Moving on to topic 3, we're going to talk the AEW side of things. Rampage. Now, I didn't watch Rampage. I was working, so Twitter was my source. I want to talk about CM Punk's return, because holy shit, what a moment this was. 7 years Punk has been away from wrestling and not talking very fondly of wrestling. In these past 7 years, he went on his UFC stint, had one match there, unfortunately lost. He did WWE Backstage and worked for Fox through that. That was cool to see him there, back involved in wrestling at least a little bit. But yes, now he is back and signed with AEW. Has his first match coming up in All Out on September 5th, so about a week's time, against Darby Allin. But man, that return was exciting, and just the energy that building put out, whoo, man, that was something. We had a lot of rumors going into Chicago's Rampage of his return, of his signing. So it was one of those, like, not pure surprise reactions, but it was a lot of anticipation of, like, is it going to actually happen? And, like, all the stars were in a line of, like, it's his hometown, it's a new show, like, everything just kind of, once again, lined up. So it was almost, it's funny, like, leading up to 10 p.m. that Friday, it was like, I know he's back. But, like, it's the little feeling in the back of your mind or your heart that's like, but what if he doesn't? It's not going to happen. He hasn't been around for this long. Like, no, it's just normal rumor mill bullshit. And the moment they go on air, everybody in the crowd was just, like, having it. Like, CM Punk chants. It's very loud. And they were smart production-wise, let those go for about a minute, and they finally cut to it. Cult of Personality on, and the crowd flips out. If you haven't watched this video clip, please YouTube it, please. Flips out. People are jumping up and down, people are crying, people are hugging, people are high-fiving, people are celebrating. Huge pop, huge reaction. The man comes out of the entrance tunnel, just another wave of it. And it was just a moment. Let me just say that moment was awesome, but how awkward would it be if it wasn't true and it was someone else? Oh yeah, that would have been horrendous. I mentioned how the stars were aligned. I mentioned Chicago. Tony Khan, the CEO of AEW, he's very smart with marketing or selling his own show, and he was really aware. He's very aware of things going on. He did some interviews before. I think it was a podcast, Busted Open, for those of you guys who don't know, on SiriusXM, big wrestling podcast. Go check that out. He talked with them. He talks with them about the card on Wednesday and Fridays during the day before the show that evening to kind of sell it. And he mentioned, like, don't worry. People are going to, like, I don't like making people not happy. I think they're going to like what we're going to do. So I think that was the final tip of the cap, like, Easter egg CM Punk wise, that it was going to happen. We had some other wrestlers from previous weeks during their promos use similar phrases to Punk in the past, like best in the world. We had some t-shirts that people thought were teasing Punk as well, just because it's the initial CM, which I think is a little bit of a stretch, but what do I know? So yeah, it would have been real fucking, there would have been riots if that didn't happen, if he didn't show up. But they were smart to do it right off the bat, because I can't imagine them going the whole hour show and he shows up at the end. Like, I could get that because you want it, like, that one last moment to kind of, like, tune in next week. But, like, that would have been a rough show the entire time of just CM Punk chants destroying any match that was in there. So smart of them to do at the beginning. Like I said, he comes out the tunnel, gets this huge reaction, and they let everybody soak it in. Punk took his time up there. He's soaking in all the energy at the entrance ramp. Announcers at the announce table didn't say shit for the longest time, which was great. Just letting the crowd kind of let that be the energy for everybody. We saw Punk jump into the crowd at one point because he was so stoked. That was funny. So yeah, really cool to see CM Punk back. I know not everybody's particularly a fan of him, but he's obviously gotten a bigger fan base from his later work in WWE. I mean, I've always been a fan of him with his early ECW work. I know everybody loves ECW, WWE wise. No, they don't. I loved him with that. I loved him as with Kofi being tag champs. I loved the Straight Edge Society. I might not have liked it at the time because he was going against Jeff Hardy, my guy, but he was that group was a great antithesis for Jeff. And then, yeah, obviously he finally became the voice of the voiceless, and the pipe bomb promo, and like that's where the explosion happened. But yeah, it's very cool to see him back. I'm very interested to see how well he comes back to wrestling. I'm sure it's like riding a bike, like it comes back to you, and he's got some time. Obviously, if he hasn't been training already, I'm sure he has. Before going against Darby on the 5th, I'm interested to see how his ring work is. Excuse me, after all this time. So where do we go from here with Punk after Darby? Because RIP, Darby's losing. Let's be honest. Where does Punk go from here? I talked about this not last week's episode of the podcast, but the week before. I talked about AEW Burnout. How like they're bringing in everyone and their mom to be part of AEW. That's a big name. And it kind of leaves the rest of the locker room roster behind in the dust. And maybe they're not getting the storylines or time that they were at the beginning of AEW. And how it can be a bad thing. With Punk coming in, obviously he's got a lot of notoriety behind him and fandom. Like, does he just jump to the top? Is this similar to a Christian Cage route? No offense to Christian, excuse me, sorry. And then you get rumors of Daniel Bryan, or on the indies known as Bryan Danielson, showing up at All Out or soon after. We're getting rumors of Bray Wyatt, or maybe not the Fiend because that's a WWE product, but Bray Wyatt showing up. Obviously, we talked about last topic, Adam Cole. Where's he going if his contract's up? Like, all these talents, great to have. Awesome. Of course, they pull people in. People love to see them, but like, it's another factor of like, if you just keep bringing everyone in, especially in a short time frame of weeks, maybe months, it's like the turnaround is so fast. You don't there's no substance there. There's nothing being built. So that's my fear for bringing these people in. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's next for Punk. I like that him and Darby are doing something, because this Darby's been on the upswing of like, let's build Darby. This will do well for him, even in a loss, of just putting him with Punk. So I'm fine with that. So maybe Punk decides to go this route. I mean, Christian Cage has kind of done that with Jungle Boy. They haven't feuded or fought against each other except for that one battle royale. But they're working together, and we've built Jungle Boy up. So this is just another boost to him to go with Christian. So maybe Punk will be that facet for Darby now, but maybe for somebody else, whoever's next. If that's what we're doing, fine. That's smart. Do that. Use your seasoned talent to build up someone who is fresher, newer talent. Totally fine with that. I just don't want it to be all the new signees, the big names, are just the top, and no one else is there with them that's newer, quote unquote, or not as well known, if that makes sense. If we're doing the balancing act of both, okay. Hopefully at some point it doesn't lose its excitement factor just because so many people are coming back as well. But yeah, that's been another episode of the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma 9011. I appreciate you guys hanging out today. If you want to catch the podcast live, you can go over to twitch.tv/Enigma911 every other Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat like Mrs. G and Lady in Wonderland did today. If you're a subscriber over there, we'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, that's A-okay. You can go over to YouTube and SoundCloud the very next week, where it's broken up topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, hashtag ad merch store. Get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us. It'd be greatly appreciated. So that's episode 99 in the bag. Got the big one. Big 100. Big 100 next time. So hopefully I'll see you guys back for that. Hopefully you guys can check out some old podcasts. Let me know what your favorite moments are. But I appreciate you guys giving this a watch, giving this a listen. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.